On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Men need their space. They don't need to be treated like kids. So if he's saying I'm going to the store, there's no reason for me to be like, oh wow, what for? When you gonna come back? So no, I submit to you. You leave. You gotta go to the store. You gotta go to the store. What you need me to do at home? Why you gone?
I don't want to ask you guys. So let's just say a man is married, right? And he gives his wife credit by saying, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for her. Can a woman fully submit to her husband after mothering him to be a better man? Danielle.
I
He
think
said
that
mothering him. I got a unique set of word choices in order to illustrate exactly what it is that he's trying to communicate. That's pretty funny.
I was actually agreeing with you until you said the mothering part, because I can imagine a situation where, because like I said before, submission is a choice, right? And the thing is, for men who have women who are submissive and want that and crave that, I think they can see a stark difference between most modern women today and that woman that he's with. And he might be able to glean the value of her choice to submit and be thankful for that. And say, if I didn't have her submitting to me and choosing to do that and choosing to relinquish this control to me, then our household wouldn't be as successful as it is. I could see that. But if you're talking about a woman who had to do the work for a man, had to push him and had to motivate him beyond what would be regular inspiration of a woman, that's problematic. And that's something that can't be taught to a person within a short period of time. It has to be learned over a long period of time. So yeah, I don't think if that's happening that's a successful man, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Can a woman fully submit to her husband after mothering him to be a better man?
When you were first asking that, I was like, oh, okay. And then when you said mothering, I was like, So I think that if a woman sees a man as a person she's been mothering, there's a certain level of respect that's not necessarily going to be there as a romantic partner, because you're looking at them like your son. So it's just not, no, I don't think so. Not easily, at least. I think there would have to be a lot of professional help, maybe some couples therapy. Like, it would take a long time, I think, to get out of that dynamic of being like a mother-son situation, which is extremely weird and creepy in a romantic relationship. But if you felt like you were mothering somebody, it's going to take a long time and a lot of work to be able to submit to that person in the future. So,
oh, really?
So no, I mean, the likelihood is really low, in my opinion.
Okay. Man, I have an awesome wife, man. If it wasn't for her, I would not be where I am. Courtney, can a woman fully submit to her husband after mothering him to be a better man?
Yeah. So no, the man is, if he's going to be great, he's going to be great with or without a woman. What that woman does is help him as far as, hey, I need you to do this to help me be great. And our role is to submit and say, okay, so I need you to help make sure the house is clean, and when I come home, dinner is cooked. Okay. I will submit to you by doing that. So therefore, I'm helping you be great. But like I said, the man is going to be great or not. It has nothing to do necessarily with the wife. I'm just helping you along with your greatness.
Well, it depends. It often depends because the context matters. So it's two different situations in which a man would use that statement, and it can mean two different things. So, like for example, you got the man that would say, "Oh man, if it wasn't for my wife, like I wouldn't be where I am today." Right? In which, this is the emasculated type of guy. This is the guy that is he's weak. He's very weak. And I know we don't like these terms, but I don't care what anybody thinks. He's a beta, right?
Pull up on
Realistic.
me. Pull up.
And literally, he's just a tool. And often in those situations, the woman settled for him. And that's not necessarily the guy that she wanted to pick, right? But then there's the other people, right? Because I can use the same context when it were, especially with me that looks at marriage in a lot of ways, the foundation of it from a business perspective. right? You can say the same thing when it comes to CEOs that built and ran specific companies, right? Like there are certain people that he's empowered and they do their job to the best of their ability, which obviously um, it propels the company to be 10 times more successful. And if you translate that into a relationship, it's the same thing. The reasons why you 10 times more successful as a couple versus as an individual. And I often say all the time, I was going to be great regardless, right? But the fact that I have you here and you play your role to a T, you really enhance and you empower things and you enable things to be a lot more successful as a result of you playing your role to a T. And so we're that much greater, right? You enable certain situations to be able to happen because you've placed yourself in positions to where women like you. And as a result of women liking you, they recommend their husbands to be able to do business with me. So, the business of marriage and guys that say, yo, if it wasn't for her, then we wouldn't be in this, that, and so can be true in two different scenarios. Two things can be true at the same time, but there's a difference between the vessel that's saying it, right? There's guys that can leverage the people and empower them to be the best versions of themselves, which people trust them and they believe in them, right? The women that we have on Lapeef Let's Talk, they do what they're supposed to do and they're totally into the vision that we've created for this whole platform. And as a result, they propel the platform to be more successful than it would have been had they not been here. Now, would we've been successful without them? Probably. But the fact that they do their job to a T makes it that much easier for us to be able to do what we do. So the context matters. And so we have to take that into consideration when we having these conversations.
Submission equals freedom to move around. Submission equals freedom to move around. Would a woman be likely to give her man freedom to move around if she's fully submitted to him? I mean, think about it. Think about that question real quick. I mean, a man often has a woman that's all over him and nagging him and questioning his whereabouts, but a woman that has fully submitted to her man, does he have the freedom to move around, Danielle?
I think he does, especially if he is a man with a plan, because women want to just feel reassured. And so if that man is on the move, but he has a plan for that woman and he's thinking about what she should be doing at the same time, then she should be focused on that, So if he's not and he's fully focused on something else and doesn't have a plan for her, a lot of times she's going to start to chaos will come through. So yeah, I think he has to have a plan for her if he's going to move around like that. But I think if he does, more power to him.
What do you mean by a plan for her? What does that mean?
That means expectations as far as what she should be doing in her time, whilst he's doing what he's doing. That's what I mean. I think a lot of modern men and modern women, their dynamic is you do you, and we will love each other through it. But there's not a lot of guidance that's given a lot of the time. So I think that's necessary if you're gonna be absent from the situation. You got to have a plan for what happens when you're not there.
Courtney, would you say that submission to a man equals freedom for that man to move around?
Explain what you mean by move around. Are we talking about cheating?
No, we're not talking about cheating. To me, I think that sometimes men need their space.
Oh,
I think that men need men time. But what I've seen is that women that fully submit to their man, that they don't have those issues where the woman is nagging them, is questioning where he's going because she's fully submitted to him. So if I said, hey, I'm going to the store, and I just go to the store, no questions asked. So I'm trying to highlight the importance of submission, how men need to get there. Well, not get it, but how important a woman submitting to that man is. So I want to ask you is, if a woman fully submits to a man, does that give him freedom to move around?
yeah. Well, I totally agree. Men need their space. They don't need to be treated like kids. So if he's saying I'm going to the store, there's no reason for me to be like, oh wow, what for? When you gonna come back? So no, I submit to you. You lead. You gotta go to the store. You gotta go to the store. What you need me to do at home while you gone?
Okay.
So that's it. So I agree. Now, let's not be silly with it. So now you always gone at the same time every day. Then there's red flags. So don't be naive with it. So it might be some follow-up questions now that I have if I've seen a pattern. So,
Really?
I mean, let's not be naive with it. But yes, you shouldn't be treated like a child.
I don't know, man. I think Anton got a different response.
You might. We're not the same person.
But I mean, I think that women are supposed to naturally yearn for you. So the fact that she yearns for me is not necessarily nagging. It's just a desire to naturally want to be around me whenever she has the opportunity to do so. So it's a difference between nagging and yearning for my attention. And women are supposed to naturally yearn for you if she really, really rocking you and she really, really feeling you. If I'll put it like this. If you say, yo, I'm going all the time, and she never is, you know what I'm saying, trying to go with you, or she never want to be with you, or that's a bigger issue, in my opinion, than a woman that's just like, all right, go do your thing, whatever. I think that's a bigger, in my opinion, that would be a bigger red flag than a woman that was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really, really want to rock with you. I really want, like, whenever I'm leaving out the house, my chick got the puppy eyes. She got the big puppy eyes. Like, yo, when you gonna come back? Like, all right, I'm gonna be waiting up for you. And like, that's just, she has a natural yearning and desire. And so I think that it is important for men to go and do their thing and make sure that they're taking care of business, especially when you on the up and up. And also, I don't give my chick any reason to ever have any doubt. So she's always looking forward to catering and pampering and all of that other type of stuff. I get my feet rubbed all the time. She's always asking me when I'm gonna make availability in order for her to, you know what I'm saying, give me a pedicure and the whole 9 yards. So it's just a different dynamic when you as a guy are living in your purpose versus you just trying to get away because you just don't want to be bothered. And so I don't know, it's different for me, but Redfield community is different.
Okay.
Yep.
Would you say that you have fully submitted to your man?
Yes.
Is your man able to freely move around?
Yes.
Okay.
I trust him.
You trust him? Trust. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of my points. Trust. So you agreed that if a woman has fully submitted to her man, that the man can move around freely, right? That's what you're agreeing to?
Yes.
Okay.
And I definitely agree with what Anton said too, though, because I mean, just because you know that you can trust your man, it doesn't mean that you're still not like, okay, well, when are you coming back? Or when am I going to see you? Like, you're just excited to be around your man. So I think that's natural. And I think that's just something that some people do. That doesn't mean that you're trying to stop them from moving around. It just means that you like being around your man.